As operators face a capacity crunch, given the plethora of smartphones and the large amount of data that they consume, typically 500 megabits per day on an LTE link, maybe offering 5 to 10 megabits per second, this is causing tremendous pressure on the operator's cellular infrastructure. And there are basically two ways to increase both the capacity and the coverage. One way is to add more capacity to an existing site, typically by adding more sectors and effectively sculpting the sectors with very specific beams to cover ever more intense geographies. Or secondly, you simply add more cells. The problem with adding more cells is that traditional techniques in the last few years, such as femtocells and picocells, the problem with a femtocell or a picocell approach is that it typically only solves the coverage aspect of the problem, not the capacity. And the only way to truly offer more capacity in a given geography is some kind of a DAS solution for indoor, or to add what we would call a metro cell, which is a form of cell densification, putting more cells into an urban setting. Now, when you add more cells, this does create problems both in terms of zoning, getting the planning permission. So we're starting to see more and more interest in disguised, concealed solutions, such as an antenna that looks like a chimney breast, for instance, or concealment in maybe a street light fitting or whatever. Once you've decided how you're going to provide that metro cell coverage, there are two other issues that you're faced with. One is power to the site, and the other one is the backhaul of the signal. So for power, as well as traditional techniques such as using the grid system, we're also seeing alternatives such as hydrogen power gaining more and more interest. So you have the power to the site, you have the site itself approved, but you still need to get that signal from the site back into the core network. And that's really where you have the choice of microwave or fiber. Fiber is great if you can get the fiber to the site, but typically very expensive in an urban setting given the need to dig the street. Whereas microwave, line of sight microwave, once installed, is relatively inexpensive and highly reliable. However, you have to be certain that your microwave signal won't interfere with other existing signals or be interfered with. And that's why we're seeing a strong interest these days in Class 4 microwave antennas, which offer very specific, very narrow microwave beam and can operate at speeds in the hundreds of megabits vicinity and yet not interfere with any other existing microwave links within that geographic area.